Welcome everybody back to another week of the Harrison Brinker Show. I'm glad you all came out to watch it. Hope you're all enjoying yourselves. You know who's not enjoying himself? Kanye West. His 300-acre California ranch is in shambles after a termite infestation. The infamous rapper turned entrepreneur says he debated calling an exterminator, but he didn't want to come off as anti-Semitic. We got a good one for you guys. I'm going to talk about politics, crying when you're hungover, and forgetting stuff. Colin Blair is here. Colin and I are going to sit down and watch our old home movies. So if you want to watch along with us, stick around. It's going to be a fun one, and I'll see you all after the intro. Good day, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Watching from home at the Harrison Brinker Show. I'm your host, Harrison Brinker. And of course, when I say watching from home, you could very well be listening in the car or watching at work. You all know what I mean. So please move on. Don't leave any comments saying, actually, I was on an airplane when I watched this video. Shut up. What can I talk about? I don't know. It's kind of weird because I say this every episode where I'm like, I don't really know what to say. And then somehow manage to, week after week, have to edit 4 hours of footage down to like an hour. But this week especially, because I don't even know what episode this is, 6, 7? I recorded an episode last week about cancel culture and all this stuff. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, maybe I just didn't even upload it because none of these have gone up yet. Episode 1, as of the time I'm filming this, has still not been uploaded onto YouTube. But as I say, that's all right. They're evergreen episodes, other than the Morgan Spurlock thing, which I bashed him, and then he died 2 days later. Everything else, there's no reference to current events, so we're fine. And even that obviously wasn't a current event. He died after I made the video. But I recorded that episode, but wasn't really happy with it. I'm going to try to fix it up a little bit and then upload it. It'll go before this one if it's done right. But I don't know if it's done right or not because I still haven't gotten around to film it. So I kind of filmed episode, I think it would be 6 is the cancel culture one. But I didn't film it, but a week has gone by, so I'm filming episode 7. And then I'm going to go back and film episode 6. You might say, Harrison, they haven't been uploaded. You have no time commitments. Why don't you just sit down now and film episode 6? Because it's about the principle of the thing. And I'm not going to make the rest of the episodes wait while I figure out just one episode. I'm going to skip that episode and film all the other ones, and then when I have time, go back and clean it up and fix it and blah, blah, blah. So there's that. Secondly, I am wearing a white shirt and black tie, and I really am not a fan of this look, to be quite honest with you. I feel like a reservoir dog. And if I had a jacket, maybe it'd be a little different. If I was going to a funeral, I think it would be a little more appropriate. I like colors and designs and stripes and ties with, stripes, I said already, I guess. Black and white, not really my thing, but I'm running out of shirts, so I'm trying to combine as much as I can of my wardrobe to make as many outfits as possible. Is it working? We're at the bottom of the barrel. What else happened? At work, this old man was yelling to me and my coworker about politics. He's also a coworker of ours. He's not just a random old man, but he's talking politics, and it was just very annoying because it was a perfect caricature, like exactly what a liberal thinks a conservative is. It was just this old guy being like, "You don't like Trump? You're an idiot." I was like, all right. No sense in talking to this guy. Not even a discussion. It was just yelling. It wasn't even like a political argument or any sort of debate. I mean, I get it. We're working. We're blue-collar guys. We're not going to sit down and freaking wear our suits and ties like I like to do and talk about, have a moderator and be like, sir, thank you for joining us. Let's please discuss why Hillary Clinton is the devil and Donald Trump is the savior. There's not really a need for that. So anyway, I guess what happened was the old guy went up to my coworker and was like, hey, did you see Trump where he's $200 million after he got charged? And my, coworker was like, I don't really care. And you know what's weird? I think no one's really talking about the fact that Donald Trump cheated on his wife, and that's what started this whole mess. Like, that's not very conservative. That's not very morally correct, wouldn't you say? And then the old guy was just like, things happen. So he went into it knowing whatever this guy says, I have to disagree with. So even when he's not a liberal or a conservative or whatever, but let's just say it's liberal versus conservative. Even the conservative guy going into it knows this guy's a liberal, so whatever he says, I have to disagree with. Even if the liberal says, Donald Trump, you have to admit, cheated on his wife, that's not good. The conservative has to go, no, it actually is good because he's the savior of our country and he's going to fix everything. So even if he cheats on his wife, which I don't know how that wouldn't affect politics, whatever. You have to weasel your way. It was exactly what I was talking about with the Morgan Spurlock documentary thing, where you already know your conclusion. So no matter what happens up until then, you'll find a way to make your side make sense. It's very annoying, and it's very, hindering for any sort of discussion, let alone a politics discussion. Politics is fun too, because it's like I feel like there's just a right answer to everything. Like it's if you're like, hey, let's talk about the border. Okay, how many illegal immigrants have crossed over the border? There's just an answer. It's not like, well, it could span from this to that. It's like, yeah, but I mean, like, what's the actual number right now? Because some people are saying it's like 16 million. Other people are saying it's like 45. So just tell me the number. I just want to know the number. Now it's up to you to then take that. Let's say it's 45 million, and then you take that number and go, I don't care versus I care. Okay, sure. You can disagree on whether or not you care about it. But there's just an answer. Whatever. Politics is very fun. But the old guy, I kind of chimed in, and the old guy was complaining to the coworker still and was like, oh, well, you only want to vote for the guy if he benefits you. So then I chimed in and said, yeah, why else would you vote for anyone? Like, of course you're only going to vote for the guy that benefits you. And then he looked at me and he went, oh, so you want me to pay your student loans? I'm like, where are you getting this idea? First of all, I went to school in Pennsylvania, so you don't have to, I actually don't know how the student loan thing payoffs would work, but I assume if it's a public school in Pennsylvania, it would be state taxes that pay for my school, but who really cares? It's never going to happen anyway, so I don't really feel like having a hypothetical about it. I'm like, yeah, first of all, I'm paying my student loans, and no, that you wouldn't have to pay them anyway. And third of all, if anyone's paying for anyone else's stuff out of taxes, it's me to you, you old man. I'm paying for your Social Security. And you're of age to be getting Social Security, and you still have a job. So you shouldn't be getting that. But whatever. There's just free money for you, I guess. Thanks for being old. Here's free money. Sorry to rant. Sorry to the old people out there that love the Harrison Brinker Show. I love you, old people. But if you're going to get Social Security, you should at least be sitting in your house watching the news. You shouldn't be working. I think I had something else to say, but I completely forget it. Oh, that's what I was going to say. It was funny that the old guy was like, oh, you only want to vote for the guy that helps you, as if like that's a selfish thing. Okay, let's establish that's his stance. Don't vote for a guy, or vote for a guy that helps more than just you. Okay, sure. So I'm assuming by that logic you like paying taxes, and you like paying taxes that then go to benefit Social Security or whatever, like all these social groups of like, hey, this would go to welfare, this would go to unemployment, blah blah blah. You've established that because you made the claim that it was wrong of me to say you would only want to vote for the guy that helps you. He gave me shit for that. Okay, but then you turn around and say, I'm not going to pay for your student loans. I'm like, well, you were the guy who just said it would be wrong morally for me to be selfish when I vote. So are you selfish or not? I don't really care either way. It's fine. But be honest about it. That's all I ask. If you can be a raging liberal or a flaming conservative, I don't really care as long as you're like, yeah, I love Trump. Yeah, I love Hillary, and here's why. Instead of just being like, I hate Trump, and I go, why? And you go, everything. Okay, well, it's not really... You can feel however you want, but I'm not going to talk politics with you for someone who doesn't know what they're talking about. I love the Baltimore Orioles. Oh, really? Who's your favorite player? All of them. Honestly, all of them. No, like name one. I love all of them. It's hard to pick. Well, if you love all of them, it should be easy to just pick one. Yeah, you'd think that, but it's not. That's what happens with politics. You go, okay, like I said, I'll just use the same example because I don't want to. If I all of a sudden have 1,000 political examples on here, it's going to start looking like first of all, a politics show, but second of all, that I've actually looked into this, which some of these I have, but I'm not going to share with you all the things I sit and Google while I'm alone. But like, we need to allow illegal immigrants to cross over the border and not, vet them or anything. And you go, okay, how many are over here? I don't know. Oh, you don't know? Well, then you don't care. It's a good little trick. I'm not opposed to tricking people. You shouldn't lie to them, but if you get them in a trap because you know they're going to screw up their own argument, like the old man did at work by saying you're selfish for voting for someone who only benefits you, and then also say I wouldn't want to help pay towards your student loans. All right, well, I don't really know what you're talking about, old man, and everything else you say after this is kind of like, well, he clearly doesn't know what he's saying, so it's hard to take you seriously. But that's all that happened at work. I guess that was like a 10-minute story, but that was only I don't know, a minute part of my entire weekend. I work on the weekends, by the way. I'm also, so I work on the weekends. I go home. I have a couple beers just to relax and celebrate the fact that I worked at a hard day at a bullet factory. But sometimes, on the weekend, maybe on a Sunday, I'll drink a little more than a couple, if you know what I'm saying. So yesterday, I was watching a movie, talking to my roommates, throwing back some beers. Every time I finished one, I threw another one, cracked another one open. Point being, I'm very hungover today, so this coffee is real nice. And that'll lead me perfectly into my next segment. It's Hungover Harrison. I thought there was a day that started with H, but there's not. There's not even a month that starts with H. It's Hungover Harrison Heyday. Let's move on. I'm very depressed. I'm very sad. Not generally, only because it's just today because I'm hungover and I haven't eaten much, and so I don't know. All my emotions are. I feel like I'm going through menopause, and I'm also drinking coffee on an empty stomach, so I know only mere hours from now I'm gonna crash. I don't know. Have I talked about that on the show? Coffee doesn't affect me. Like I don't think it ever has given me like a caffeine rush where I'm like, oh my God, I was tired, but now I'm not. The only thing coffee does is make me have to go number 2, take a BM, and I can feel the crash. I don't feel a caffeine rush, but I feel the crash, and all the time at work, I'm just, very sad and ready to kill myself. But I know it's going to be over. I don't get worked up about it because I'm like, yeah, it's because you drink coffee. You don't actually want to kill yourself, Harrison. Even though there's plenty of reasons why you should. Just joking. And it also gives me acid reflux. There's really no benefit to coffee. It's a hot drink that makes me feel sick and want to kill myself. And I don't know. But it's a cool mug. It's a cool aesthetic to have on the show. Like, I'm taking this seriously. What are in the mugs at Jimmy Fallon shows? Is that just water? Anyway. My point is, I was sitting on Instagram Reels today, and sometimes on the show I'll pull up the Instagram Reels, but I'm not going to today. The only thing I have on this TV screen is a nice landscape of the beach. A photo I took myself, by the way. There's no Photoshop. That's just how God made the beach look. It's very beautiful. Nice job, God. You and Bob Ross should hang out. Actually, they probably are. Bob Ross is dead, and I hope he's not in hell. I was on Instagram, scrolling through Instagram Reels, and a page popped up called like Hope Core or something, which I guess is just like nice videos, compilations of nice videos. Sometimes you'll get like old Vine compilations and, people dying compilations. But this one was a nice one. It was devoted to like kids laughing and dads hugging their children, and I usually skip right through those. You've watched the show. I like to complain. I like having things to complain about. I really hate everything, and you could show me a picture of 1,000 puppies and I'll figure out a reason why they're all stupid. So generally I skip through the Hope Core stuff because I'm like, oh, give me a break. But today I was very sad. I was already just down in the dumps. So I watched the whole video, and then I scrolled through the comments, and they were all like, oh, best part of my day, oh, I'm crying. And part of me, the part of the real Harrison was in there. It's like Get Out when the black guy, like, I'm not just saying I don't know Daniel Kaluuya's name, or actually I probably don't because I think I pronounced it wrong. I just mean in Get Out, all the black people are trapped in white bodies, so I just feel like a black guy in Get Out going, hey, Harrison, I'm the black guy. The real me is like, hey, no, complain about stuff. Don't be sad. Don't be happy. Just be angry. But the shell of the person I was in, I forget how that movie actually worked. And it's all made up anyway, so why use it as an analogy? My point is, I ended up looking at the Instagram page and scrolling through it for about an hour, and it wasn't long before I started bawling my eyes out. Now, I'm no crier. I'm no John Crier. I'm no town crier. Although this kind of has evolved from like a town crier in the medieval times to then this show where I'm like, hey, here's how you should think about stuff. Or here's how I think about it. Is this interesting? So I was watching a bunch of these videos, and it was like, deployed soldiers coming back and seeing their kids or their parents or whatever, and they'd like surprise their son. And I don't know, there's a video of a mom dressed as like a school mascot, and the kid's hanging out, and then the mom takes the mask off, and the kid's like, oh my God, my mom that was in Saudi Arabia is back home. And they give each other a big hug, and I'm like, oh God, that's so great. I don't even have kids. I don't even know what that would be like. I guess I am a kid, so maybe I'm crying from the kid's perspective of seeing your parents, but my parents and I aren't very close. I hardly talk to them. Just kidding. But I couldn't imagine like seeing my dad and crying about it. It's just weird. So I don't know where these emotions are coming from. Maybe it was like a dam had finally been broken. I just really hope that I'm not just sad from now on. I hope I didn't break anything in my brain that now makes me feel emotions. I like the way it was, where I bottled everything up and tucked it inside, and it kind of festered and became this show, which is me complaining about good things and bad things equally. But yeah, there was like a lot of videos like that. Like a guy came up to a police officer. He's like, "Do you remember me?" The guy's like, "Cop's like, no." And he goes, "You saved me in 1997. You saved me from drowning." And then they give each other a big hug, and I'm like, "Oh God." Oh man, this is really, here come the waterworks. I didn't know how to feel. It was like in Seinfeld. There's that episode where Jerry cries. He goes, "What is this? What is this coming from my eyes?" So there's that. So I don't know. I guess this isn't even a rant. It's hardly even any sort of discussion. I don't even know how I feel about it. It's the first time I've felt emotions in maybe months. So pardon me for not being able to articulate them well. I'm just very confused as what's happening. I know it's because I'm hungover. Which is kind of good to know that, because the idea that I'd be stuck like this forever is terrifying. So the same thing with the coffee, where I'm like, I feel depressed, but it's going to be over because I just drank coffee. It's fine. You do this all the time, Harrison. I don't get hungover a lot, although I try to. It never works. So I know this whole crying thing's going to be over soon. But it reminded me of the first time I remember crying at a happy thing. Because I think for the first 19 years of my life, I was like, who cries tears of joy? I don't get it. I guess I just never experienced love or joy, really, to the point where it made me feel anything. But I remember watching the movie School of Rock with Jack Black. Hello, you got a bass. Let's rock today. Okay. The end of School of Rock, when all the he gets all the kids and they go to battle all the bands, and then the parents are trying to find the kids and they get into battle all the bands, and then the parents who are like, you guys got to learn math and calculus and all this stuff, and rock and roll's for hippies. They finally get into the crowd of the battle of the bands, all the parents, and they see their kids performing, and they realize their kids are incredible. And Zach's dad's there, like, oh my God, my son knows how to play freaking this cool song on the guitar. And I watched that. And I'd seen the movie 30 times. I've watched it since I was a kid, but for some reason, watching it in 2020, I saw that scene and I went, oh God, they really love them, their parents. Little do they know just how talented those youngsters are. It was very weird, and I, try my best never to cry again, unless somebody dies. Then it's I'll have one single tear come down, like when you watch a World War II movie and you're like, wow. These men really were the greatest generation. You can have one tear. But I was alone in my bed and bawling my eyes out because I'm like, this kid hasn't seen his mom in months, and now they're back together. So there's that. I also, but to cleanse the palate, get back to reality. Oh, there goes, grab it, whatever. Eminem. I saw a video where it was almost a Hope Core video. And this cat, I guess, this family's cat had been missing for 2 months, and finally the dad found it. It's just footage of inside their house where the dad comes back in with the cat, and the mom starts to cry oh my God, you found a little Jinxie boy, and all the kids are crying hey, Jinxie's back. And then the dad sets the cat down and immediately runs out the open door because someone didn't shut the front door, and escapes again, never to be found. Probably got hit by a car, and that made me laugh because it's just funny. Yeah, you're stupid. You left the door open. It's like giving a murderer a gun and being like, hey, you're back. Here's a gun. And then he shoots you and you go, oh, shit, I forgot about that. You have a knack for shooting people. This cat had a knack for escaping, and you left the door open. That could be A song lyric. I was going to end the segment there, but then I heard myself say that. I went, wow, that's really prolific, Harrison. This cat had a knack for escaping, and you left the door open. Hail Atlantis. All right, the last segment I have here on the soft-spoken episode of the Harrison Brinker Show, which is only because my roommates are home for the first time, because it's the summer now and they're not teaching school anymore. Normally I like to yell in these episodes, but it's hard to get comfortable and scream into a microphone with no one in my room when I know there's someone 10 feet away probably going, Harrison, shut the hell up. Anyway, the last segment I have here is I don't know myself. I'm not trying to be introspective or come to terms with your true self. Get rid of your ego, man, and just look into your soul. I'm not doing that. It was just a fun title to talk about something interesting, kind of, which is that there's entire eras of my life that I have no recollection of at all. For example, if you came up to me and said, "Hey Harrison, what are your feelings on the Boy Scouts?" I'd probably say, "Well, I think it's kind of it's a great concept. I think it was, probably better in the 60s and 70s when kids would go out and an 8-year-old would learn how to kill a bear. But now it's kind of just like, oh, we're going to take a popsicle stick and whittle it into a toothpick, and that's Boy Scouts, guys." I would probably talk about that it's, it's really only around for tradition. And it kind of lost its luster. But what I should say is, Boy Scouts? Yeah, I was a Boy Scout. I did it for 6 years. That's probably more like 3. But still, for whatever reason, if you talk about the Boy Scouts, my first instinct is not to say, "Oh, I was a Boy Scout." Like if you said, "Hey, what do you think about Pennsylvania?" I would go, "Oh, that's weird. I'm from Pennsylvania. That's where I grew up my entire life." "Hey, what do you feel about Penn State football?" "Oh, I went to all those games." "Oh, what do you feel about the Boy Scouts?" Nothing, no opinion. But I did it. And I remember certain things from it. I remember specific things. I did the Pinewood Derby one year, and there was a TV. It was just a big conference room. And there was this TV with the movie Down Periscope on. I remember that. I hadn't even seen the movie. This is the only time I've seen it. I don't remember anything that happens, but I know the movie Down Periscope was on that TV. I also know later that my scoutmaster, we all went over to his house once and we watched Empire Strikes Back. I have that memory. But for whatever reason, when someone tries to open up the filing cabinet in my head, be like, "Hey, how do you feel about the Boy Scouts?" That door's locked. I'm like, "Oh, Boy Scouts? There's nothing in here. Door's locked." Instead of going, "No, if I jimmy it a little bit, you can think about all these things that you did. You did shoot BB guns. You did go on hikes. You did whittle bars of soap. You got your pocket knife permission slip." I have all these things. I remember making a cake for a thing once. It looked like a Cub Scout badge. I remember that. But for whatever reason, they're not accessible easily. Similarly, the exact same thing happened with karate. If you say, "Hey, Harrison, how do you feel about karate?" I'd go, "Karate? I don't know. It was a weird phase in the 80s and kind of 90s. I guess it went into the 2000s, but I don't know. Not really my thing." Without going, "Oh, wait, I did karate for many years of my life. That was my first sport thing I did when I turned 6, if not earlier than that." I remember doing, I remember the day I started karate when I was 6 or 5 or whatever. And they gave you the, what the hell is this thing called? Gi. They gave you your gi. I did that. I won tournaments and I did many, many karate tournaments. I mean, it's easy as a young kid. A 4-year-old fighting another 4-year-old, that can't be that hard. If you asked me to fight an 8-year-old now, I'd kick his ass. Give me a black belt. But I knew all the stuff. I knew the stances. I used to know how to count to 10 in Korean. I've since forgotten how to do that, but it's all a testament to this was a big part of my life as a young kid. I have in my basement all the trophies, all the broken boards I chopped in half at tournaments. But for whatever reason, it's the same thing where that file cabinet just doesn't open. You really have to pull on it to see what's inside there. Because I could talk about it for days. I did karate. My master Kleinitz, he was nice. Da-da-da-da-da. Another thing I had was, it's fun to kind of forget what I'm talking about in this segment about how maybe I just have a bad memory. That would be bad. It allows me to spew nonsense, though, because I'll repeat myself over and over in the show and not even realize I'm doing it. But then I'll edit the show and go, "Harrison, move on. You've talked about this already." Anyway, 5th grade, I don't remember anything about 5th grade. I remember 4th grade, my teacher, Mrs. Davenport, I met Tyler Funk. He's since gone on to become a TikTok superstar. I was a good friend, great friends with him. I remember 6th grade, I met Ben Hayes. My teacher was Mrs. Horn. I had to get spoken to after class because I was so disruptive. Me and Ben would just joke around the entire time. We were like the cool kids in school. We were the class clowns. Everybody loved us. But 5th grade, I mean, I remember my teacher was Mrs. Workinger, and that she smoked cigarettes and her marriage fell apart, and she would come in as a newly divorced woman and take her anger out on the kids. She never hit us, but she was very mean. I remember that, but I don't remember like anything we did. 4th grade, I remember doing basically DARE, like a cop would come in and talk about drugs and all this. 6th grade, the election was going on, and Harlem Shake was big, and I would watch YouTube all the time and play Minecraft. I remember that. No problem. 5th grade, no idea, other than my teacher's name, what happened throughout from 2011 to 2012. No idea. I think it's a lot of, I did the same stuff over and over. And as a kid, obviously, too, you're not going out and doing a bunch of exciting stuff all the time. But I remember, like, summer going into middle school, all I did was play Minecraft and eat microwaved hot dogs. I think for an entire summer, I only ate microwaved hot dogs and microwaved marshmallows. Now, I like s'mores. You'd go out on a campfire and make a s'more. That kind of turned into me making, I like s'mores so much I would make them in the microwave. I didn't want to have to start a fire to eat a s'more. I realized I could just do it in the microwave. Put a graham cracker down, a piece of chocolate, and a marshmallow. Great, make a s'more. And then that turned into just having a plastic bowl full of marshmallows and microwaving them until they hardened and became one with the bowl. And probably a week after letting that dish sit in my room, I would take it down to the sink and go, Mom, you got some dishes to do. I'm going to go up there and try to beat the Ender Dragon. Which probably wasn't great for her. She probably hated me. This asshole. Never leaves his room. When the only time he does is to give me chores. And it's not an easy chore, like kind of cleaning up. He spilled water on the table. Oh, perfect. I'll use a washcloth and wipe it up. It's like, hey, Mom, you know how marshmallows become encrusted or become one with this plastic bowl? Yeah, go clean that. And I'm going to do it next week, too. I'm basically asking her to, like, separate the atom. Separating the atom is also what God did when he made Eve. I don't know if that was funny or not. I'm very depressed. But I guess if I can make a point out of all this, other than what I said, like maybe it's just because as a kid you're doing the same thing over and over, so it's easy to just let it all mix together and you don't really remember dates and you kind of have a general idea that you did karate, but you couldn't really talk about it. I don't know. I guess at this point in my life, my advice would be to just go do those exciting things. I just spit. Did you see that? That was interesting, right as I said it. Go do exciting things and give yourself these memories. Some of my favorite memories, like, I don't know, just don't, like, every Monday, I go to Walmart. I do chores. I do my laundry. I'm in this routine. So sometimes when I wake up on Monday, I'm like, I'm going to go to the record store today because I'm just going to change things up. I'm not even going to buy anything. It just gets me out of the house, changes up my routine, and now I have a memory. I'm going to start fishing. Because I'm so used to just sitting in my bed all day. If I have a reason to get up and out, I can tell you all the times I went fishing recently because it's just, they stick out more to me because I did specific things on days I usually do very mundane things. Work, I'm becoming complacent because I'm so used to how the machines work and how to package stuff up where I'm just in the groove. I don't think I've screwed up because of that, but it's just very hard to like make new memories out of it because you're just used to it all the time. So, young children watching this show, even though you shouldn't and your parents told you not to, that's my advice. Go do something fun. Go camp. Remember that episode with me and Colin, episode 1, where we talk about our childhood stories? Go out and camp in the middle of the forest. Go fight a bear. Go kill a deer. It's fun, and you won't forget it.
Hello?
Hello, honey.
Hey, Joseph, it's Colin.
All right, everybody. We're back with another rendition of rewatching when we peaked in middle school, with starting with Star Wars parodies. And we got So You Think You Can Jedi. This is a spoof of, I guess, Must have been freshman year of high school because Star Wars Episode 7 came out. So we had a Kylo Ren mask, and we're like, what can we do with this?
Mhm.
I don't remember this being great, by the way.
I don't remember that either, but yeah, you can see, what we were into at the time. Like, we definitely just watched Star Wars, or we're into Star Wars. Well, let's make a Star Wars movie now. Now that you're here for Christmas break, that's just what we have to do.
And you had the drone. I think that comes.
Oh yeah.
So here we go.
So Chewie, we're here tonight.
The costumes are a little better, I will say. That's a pretty good Han Solo costume.
Luke Skywalker, Kylo Ren. What do you think's gonna happen?
I will also say the audio in this is going to break your ears because although we're using a computer or a phone or whatever, we still have no idea how to mix sound. So I'll turn this way down. And even being able to do the audio later, I still have no idea what to say. I had all the time in the world to make something funny.
Yeah, I remember you recording the lightsabers hitting, like, separately, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why they don't line up at all.
Oh my gosh.
That was backwards. That was iMovie. I mean, the whole thing's iMovie, but this is us being like, wait, we can do things in reverse
Oh,
now?
and Kylo fights back with the Force again. Exactly.
But yeah, I think I had just gotten this lightsaber and you
Oh,
had
I
just
think it's
gotten
getting
yours or
down to the
something.
last
Yeah.
Well, perfect.
Oh my gosh.
What more do we need?
Cut off Kylo Ren's hand.
Actually,
Well,
this
I
is
think
kind
it
of a
was good
funny
try,
idea.
Kylo, but Luke obviously won this one. Tune in next
What
week
happens?
to see Princess Leia battle Admiral Akbar.
That was great. Yeah, nice job. Totally. I mean, to be honest, you could have done a little better using the Force back then. It wasn't as good as I expected. Yeah, well, you could have done a little better at using that big arm. Hey, I tried. Have you ever had your arm cut off? Yes. Yeah, well, it wasn't that easy though, was it? No, maybe you should just stop yelling at people. Maybe this is why your dad left.
Ooh!
I forgot about
Shut
that.
up, Luke. You never talk to me again.
What's a sad song we can pick? It's pretty good, though. But it is a funny thing, a Star Wars fighting show, and it's all scripted and fake. Your friends in
Gary, come on.
Of course. This is hilarious. I was going to say the chess thing where we don't have chess pieces or chess boards, so we just paint and string like we're freaking pilgrims. And we're playing checkers, actually, because I just jumped your piece. No! This probably took me an hour.
I remember that taking a long time.
Oh, that is so funny, though. Taping the missing poster right over it. That's hilarious.
McDonald's filmed on Google.
Welcome to McDonald's. How may I help you?
I would like one Big Mac.
It's like fries with that.
Kylo? Yes, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too,
Okay, take back everything I said.
Me too. I want you to have my lightsaber. There you go.
And that's it.
Oh man.
So the drone, I guess, comes in later.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
a
I
different
kind of
one.
remember that one. But I definitely remember the next one, which is the same thing, but it's Luke versus Darth. But this one's quotable. I'll still quote this all the time. Two people.
Now, wait, but quickly, I remember in that last one, I remember it was like the NBA, like All-Star stuff going on. I remember really wanting to watch it, but you were like, okay, but we need to film this part. And then I had to turn it off, and I remember being really mad about
Oh,
it.
jeez.
Because we filmed that McDonald's scene in front of the TV. You were
Yeah.
like, okay, we need to turn the TV off to do this. And I was like, okay, but I really want to watch this. But, so that's all coming back to me now, yeah.
It's such a shame to hear from popping corn to all the. Not that I'm upset, really, that you would be upset, but I'm like, oh, I don't have anything where I'm mad at you guys, so I'm just an asshole.
Oh, I mean, it's totally worth it. Now we have these.
I guess I'm sorry. Oh man. But here we go. Luke versus Darth. Which we use this. I guess I said earlier you had a Kylo Ren mask. You didn't. This is just a mask that's black.
Oh,
We
yeah.
used it for both Kylo Ren and Darth Vader. But I remember, yeah, this is when we use actual clips from the movie. Didn't you say this is still my contact picture?
Yeah, I was
for you?
going to say, fun
Hello?
fact, that is still Harrison's picture as a contact in my phone.
Hi, Dad.
Hey, I was just wondering if you wanted to go out to eat tonight.
Okay, what time?
How about 8 o'clock?
Okay, sounds good.
Alright, son, I love you.
Shut up,
there.
Dad.
Same
Oh,
thing.
God.
We have music in the background. That's cute.
2 people.
Okay, follow me.
2 people. I'll still say that all the time.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, are you ready to order?
This gets so loud.
It does.
I've come to talk with you again. Because a
Wow,
vision
Luke's a no-show. Yeah, this is insanely loud when he gets in the bathroom. Of course, just using Simon and Garfunkel, another just sad song. This is pretty much the exact movie we just made, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, this part's funny. I slammed the door open, I remember that.
What's the matter?
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna kill you.
Yet again, let's just have a lightsaber fight. And I'll record all the sounds after. But there was like, I mean, I don't blame us for not being choreographed, but it is just funny that you can just
I
tell.
remember
that
we had
no
a couple
idea.
moves, but we just, yeah, that was all we had.
Like half the time it's us just swinging parallel to each other.
Mhm.
Not-
Because you're a horrible father.
like I'm not moving at all.
What's the worst thing I've ever
R2, that's good.
You left me and you cut my hand off.
I'm sorry. Do you accept my apology?
Yes, Dad, I do.
Would you accept me? Look, I love you. Come on, Luke. Let down the lightsaber. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, too.
This is heartwarming.
Thank you.
Yes, this is a very heartbreaking apology.
Come on, abort,
Heartwarming
take it back.
apology.
Wait, what do you mean?
Oh, I remember
Filming
this.
in portrait mode.
This looks great.
That's it.
Oh. Yeah, it's good.
But that was the start of us filming on the phone, which led us to so
Yeah.
much more,
But
including.
I recall not. Yeah, I recall not knowing anything about Star Wars. I know I'd watched that new one that came out, but even that stuff saying like you left me and you cut my hand off. I remember not knowing what that meant. But you
Oh,
told-
really?
But that was a line you had told me. Yeah, so
Oh,
I
that's funny.
didn't know anything about Star Wars as we were doing this.
Which, yeah, even now, like if you were like, "Hey, let's make a movie. Let's make it Star Wars," I'd go, "What do you? Why would we make it Star Wars?" Like
Yeah.
that was just. I must have just watched that movie in the last 2 weeks and was obsessed with it. But at this point in my
clearly
life,
I
I'd be-
was. Yeah, clearly I was too because I got that lightsaber for Christmas. I remember, so I
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
just watched the new
and
one.
yeah,
that
that
came
drone.
Out. Yeah, so yeah, clearly I was obsessed with it after watching that first one, but I still didn't know anything about the old ones. So
Oh, whoops! Sorry, I didn't mean to start this. But yeah, no. Using the phone was definitely the best, and you can see, like I said in last episode or episode before that, like you can see just pieces we took. It's not like every single movie we made was completely different. We've just constantly taken one thing from the thing we did before, and then just made it better. So everything has led up to popping corn.
Right.
Actually, everything is led up to Pursuit of Decency, but it's not done yet. But we'll get to that one.
Right. Yeah.
Which is every joke and every way we kind of film things, like ripping videos just from the TV or using Microsoft Word or whatever. But this is the last one we're going to show you for this episode. It's their superhero movie, which the best thing about this one was it's the first time we ever left your house. So it will live in infamy as,
Yes,
I don't know.
this
This is
for
where we
sure,
broke
this-
off.
Yeah, this one means a lot. Yes, we expanded ourselves on this one.
But here we go, starting with a shot ripped right from The Dark Knight, and now. Or Batman Begins, actually.
Hmm.
Let's see if we can put poop in this.
I wish I was a superhero like Batman, but not a billionaire like Bruce Wayne. Wait.
But then, I mean, even this though, like even thinking, wow, we've gotten so much better, and then having a shot that takes 10 minutes to be like printing off money.
Welcome to the superhero store. What can I help you with today?
This is just the ninja store.
What can I do
Like,
with
welcome to
this?
the superhero store.
Right. Yeah.
And obviously, this is just Dumb and Dumber.
A little Dumb and Dumber.
But this was an homage. This wasn't us trying to rip off Dumb and Dumber.
You're right.
I'm smiling because I caught the key. I wasn't expecting this to be able to catch the key. Which I guess is Dumb and Dumber is ripping off Pretty Woman, and
Right.
we're ripping off Dumb and Dumber. Or homage. Mercy. This is great though. I mean, even saying like all the costumes you have in your closet, now we have it all in one movie. Like, here's all the crap that we never did anything with.
Again, this is made by Harrison.
Yeah. Probably took me 3 days. No, I remember making that. I'm Adam Man.
I guess it's just time to read the Help Wanted page.
You know.
But that's a funny idea too. A superhero reading the Help Wanted page. Wow, hilarious.
Mm.
Here's Joseph. The first time
Hey,
Joseph's
Yes.
been
You
in
stole my
anything.
wallet. Don't worry, mister. I'll get your wallet.
Great line here.
Sweet, $2. It's not your wallet.
One shot of milk, that will be $6, please.
Keep the change.
Okay, thank you. Sign this.
We've said it before. We understand. You don't have to sign a receipt. First of all, ever. But second of all, definitely not for cash. And why would you kill someone over $6?
Oh my gosh, this guy's dead.
It's the same $100 bill from
The
earlier.
receipt. Joseph Lupino.
And you're gonna kill someone and write your actual name down. Good cut here. And that is how I used to dress. Not with the bathrobe, but the blue socks and the orange Nikes.
That was the thing back then.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this
It's
newspaper.
been tampered with.
It's been tampered with.
I will blow up a bank tomorrow. Oh my gosh.
I better adjust this thing quick for Prince. I need to know who wrote this. No way. It's that perv Joseph Lupino again.
Read Not Weed is one of the funniest Warren newspapers.
Yeah, it is. It is funny. That's one of the most iconic newspapers in Warren history.
And we
it happened
defaced
to be
it.
on that day.
Where's the Batmobile?
And that secret entrance thing took me probably an hour or two.
Oh yeah.
But here we go. We're finally outside, and no one told us
Yes.
we're faking leaving a bomb at a bank. But
Yeah,
no one else
apparently
knows
that's
we're
a
filming a
bad
movie.
idea.
Yeah, every time we showed this to someone, they told us how stupid that was that we did that. This is hilarious.
I am Joseph Lupino.
He's Joseph Lupino. Oh my god.
And Uncle Paul just bought us a bike. So we're like, how can we use the bike? But yeah, the famous parking garage, where we've shot many movies since and hung out all the time.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is funny. But yeah, the parking garage. I mean, we would hang out there all the time, and finally we're just like, let's just make a movie there.
Mm-hmm.
So as crappy as this is with stupid small stuff, like this was the best thing we had made at this point.
Yeah. Even watching it now, this is awesome.
Because it was just combining everything.
Oh yeah, that's just an Apple TV remote.
No, it's to the bank, I swear to God.
Swear to me! It's a space bar. I remember clicking the sound for that. You're trying not to laugh as I pull you in.
Yeah,
I
remember trying not to laugh.
Getting brush burned or whatever. This is so loud. I gotta turn this down.
Hey.
You're just a blind guy or whatever. Like, I don't know what character that's supposed to be.
Wrapped in a blanket, I guess.
Yeah, a cold blind man. It's, of course, The Dark Knight. So we're still stealing shots from other movies. But what are we gonna actually blow up a bank?
You Colin Blair?
Yeah.
Oops, I just drew it.
What's this for?
Arrested for counterfeiting drugs.
You have the right to
Yeah.
Because we were like, how do we end this movie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we said we go back to the beginning when he printed fake money.
Yeah. Print the fake bills, and then it's actually been a Cops episode this entire time. And Colin is Harrison. Harrison is... Joseph is Colin. And Harrison is Joseph, or what? Yeah. Jospe. Good spelling there, Harrison.
Yeah, that one's awesome. Like, I remember when we put that Run song in and we were editing it. I remember when we finally timed it up, I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. We put a song in and
Yeah.
it times up and it's awesome. Like this is the best we've ever done. I remember being blown away when we did that.
The bike shot, yeah, all of it combined. Because like I said, not to toot my own horn, but no, like with every movie we've done, whether it's getting on the roof and then having another reason to, let's get on the roof for this. For the Florida movie, but we did it first in 127 minutes, like taking just bits and pieces from every other movie we shot. Like this was the culmination of everything we've done, of like ripping off, we'll have a Batmobile, but we're not going to get an actual Batmobile, we'll film it off Google. And we'll get music, but we don't have to play it from a speaker far away, we'll play it on the actual phone.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know, just stuff like that where it's like, we actually, and finally going, this was the best one because we just finally went outside.
Yeah. I know,
and that was
those
big change in our movies, was actually filming not in your backyard.
Yeah. I know, because those scenes outside, like, they all happen right next to each other. Like, they all come in at the same time. So, like, literally watching it to this day, I can still feel how proud we were when we first made this. Like, this is incredible. We're outside, downtown, and we have this song coming in timed at the perfect time. This is a real movie. Like, I remember being so proud of this one.
Well, that's
like
why
this one means a lot, actually.
It's funny. That's why, like, us being at the bank and dropping off a fake bomb in a backpack, and we're showing it to everyone, like, isn't this awesome? And then everyone's like, no, that's illegal. And we're like, wait, you're focusing on the law here. Focus on the movie. Isn't this cool?
Yeah,
We've been doing
don't
this for
worry
10 years.
We're outside. Yeah, we're not in the backyard. This is cool.
Yeah, focus on that, please. Yeah, that was the best. And then so that just put another level of realism into these, which was finally like, that's what we needed. So,
now, by the way, sorry.
Please.
Do you remember whose idea it was to put Run in the movie?
I'm going to say probably Joseph.
It was Joseph. I remember that was Joseph's idea, and he was right. That was perfect. So good job, Joseph, when you're watching this. That was a great choice, and it's iconic.
that is the best. Because I didn't know what that song was. I knew Sail by that guy, but Joseph was like, no, put Run in there. And he was absolutely right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we got to have, I guess we should have had Joseph on the show, because we're having all these videos with him. But you guys will meet him. Don't worry. That was just the best. And I mean, I say every time they only get better, but it's true, because we just take from the last one and turn it into the next one. And that's all for this episode. But next week, we finally got a script. So it took us only 7 years or whatever it was to actually be like, hey, let's write these. And we did, and they got better. But we took everything from before with the superhero movie or Luke and Kylo or whatever, hanging out on your back deck or hanging out on the top of the shed, and just took everything we had and put it into the next one, which is what made it so fun. But Scorsese does that. He makes Mean Streets, and then 20 years later is like, actually, I'll do another gangster movie called Goodfellas. And it's incredible. So that's all we got for this week, everybody. Colin, thank you, of course, for joining again and not changing outfits. But don't worry, you'll be back, and we're going to sit down and watch It's Always Sunny in Warren, and you guys are going to love it. Goodbye, sir.
See you later.